Welcome into Rumboyz After Dark on this great Friday evening. I am Drop the Mic FF, and I am your designated hitter at host for right now until Robbie gets here in a little bit. We cannot wait to get into NFL Week 1, Thursday night review, and what we think is going to happen in Week 2. But before we get into that, we got to pay some bills. So, first off, don't forget, we got the Monkey Knife Fight app. Go to Monkey Knife Fight. Use the promo code Rumboyz in all caps, RUMBOYZ with the Z, and we will match, the Rumboyz will match your first deposit up to $100. So if you put 50, you get 100. If you put 100, you get 200, and you can go and win some money with some of our advice and any knowledge that you already got. Then go to the Stacks app, iOS or the Android app for the Stacks app. You get to debate, battle other fans and other celebrity fantasy football analysts. Put a take out there, see what other people think, and that's on the Stacks app. Then you want to go to the newest, hottest fantasy football app, not app, but site there is right now. All 22, powered by PFF scoring. It's the new way. If you want to get into it and you want to draft punters, kickers, linemen, guards, tackles, interior linemen, it's all there for you. But now that we got that out of the way, we need to get to the real part of the show. And yes, I can spell, and I love it. But let's get into it. I'm going to bring him up. He might make fun of me, but he's still my buddy. It's this. I'm just going to put you up. I don't care at this point.
It doesn't matter what I am. I'm here at St. Patrick FF, the patron saint of fantasy football, ready to break down Week 1, ready to have some beers, have some drinks, and have some good laughs. Let's get into it. Let's go, Mike.
Yeah, I love you, Pat, and I got your back and you got mine. That's all that matters. To bring up another member of the Rumboyz family, Mr. Pangs Picks.
What up, y'all? This is Pangs Picks. I'm back again for another week, another day. Starting off Week 2 with the blast. For all the guys that started Mike Williams, I hope your week is going to end in a win, right? If you didn't start Mike Williams, I'm sorry. I don't no idea why you spent a second to third round pick not to take him and not to use him without Keenan Allen. That's on you.
Yeah. So, and last but not least tonight, our honorary member, Jorge Martin.
Feliz Mexican Independence Day, familia. Everybody, the Rumboyz familia. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. I'm actually at a tire store waiting for my car, but familia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Hey, you know what? Let's enjoy Mexican Independence Day. And I also say I have very much affinity for the Irish because my wife is Irish. So we celebrate Mexican Independence Day. We celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Any holiday that has to do with either culture, we're there. So salud, everybody. And,
that was
hello
nice
to Albert in the chat.
Yeah.
That was a nice beer opening.
I'm going to have a nice
splashed
beer
everywhere.
later.
Hey, Pat, you want to do the cheer?
Cheers to me, cheers to you, and all the Rumboyz and girls. What it do? Dilly, dilly.
Dilly, dilly, y'all.
Salute.
So we got Leafs in the chat. We got Pang in the chat. We got Jamie saying, think Robbie drank too much rum and forgot to hit the start button. No, that was me. Justin, what is up? We also have Albert saying what is up, and also Jorge. And just like always, Pat, Jamie wants to know what you're eating.
My wife is starving me out. So if you have any food, you can send me. DM me, I will send you my address. You can DoorDash me anything from the area. I will eat it as long as it gets here on stream.
Why is she? I want to know why is she starving you out?
Because apparently put on something here. But on a more serious note, just out of food right now and
Got it.
don't have
Okay.
any
I just
made
want to
up.
make sure you weren't in trouble.
If she was starving me out because I was in trouble, we'd have some bigger issues.
Okay.
Blink twice if you need help.
Yeah.
Blink twice.
She just said there's food made up. I just have to eat it, and I don't think that's the case. She may be lying to me again.
Jamie has a candy bar for you. All right, so let's get into it. Yes, we had a game last night, but before we get into last night's game, what is one or two things that you want to bring up that your biggest takeaways from week one? Pat, take it away.
Big takeaways from week one. I think I just want to remind people. What was his name? What was his name? It was Juwan Johnson.
Yes.
Last year, who went for 3 touchdowns against the Packers in week one or 2 touchdowns, and everyone went out and spent so much fab on him and thought he was the next big thing. Don't let your overreactions to guys that went undrafted mean that you're throwing away week 2 by throwing them into your lineup. Make sure that they're the real thing before you just shove them into your lineup and make sure, especially guys that weren't even being drafted by your team. Unless there's an injury that supersedes that and forces them into a starting role.
Yep. Pang, what about you, my man?
The one thing that I would probably say going week 1 and week 2 is that we still don't know what's going on. You're basically guessing, right? You have 1 out of 17 game sample right now. Anything can happen. Anything can change. I saw a lot of people panicking about Austin Eckler, like just straight up panicking, like, oh my God, this isn't what we drafted in the first round. And I kind of looked at it, was like, you're expecting, a 20 touchdown season from an undersized running back again. Like, come on, guys, we're better than that, right? I get it. He's not putting up ridiculously efficient James Conner numbers, but like, who does, right? Like, if that was the norm, then Jonathan Taylor would be running 3,200 yards, right? Like, because he'd be too efficient also, right? So I don't know. I think people are getting a little crazy. I know they don't like the way Sonny Michel's taking the ball or Joshua Kelly, but I would rather have Austin Eckler for the whole season than Austin Eckler for 10 games of the season. I'm just saying. So
Yep,
I would go with that.
I agree with that.
And then also format based. Know what you're drafting. I think anyone who took him in a standard league, you're in the first round, I think you're ridiculous. Half PPR could kind of see it. Full PPR, hey, top 5 pick, top 6 pick, not a big deal. But I think for guys who played in standard that are panicking and even half PPR, kind of get what you get. I mean, there's nothing to say to that.
Yeah, you knew what they were getting with Sonny Michel coming there.
Yeah. They even drafted Isaiah Spiller. Like,
Eckler's never been a goal line back until last year. And did he do a good job with it last year? Yeah, he did. He did well. But that's not how the Chargers wanted to use him.
I mean, some of his touchdowns were receiving touchdowns that he took for 20 yards. Like, anytime a guy gets a touchdown,
or times he was pulled in the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
was it 2 or 3 times last year he just got pulled into the end zone because the team wanted the ball?
Oh, absolutely.
So they could take advantage of the Chargers defense in the 2-minute drill.
Yeah. So I would say just don't panic. Treat him as if you should have drafted him like you're drafting Joe Mixon, right? He's a capped upside, but he's an RB1, borderline RB1. Anything less or more than that, you're overthinking it, I would say. What do you think, Jorge?
Yep. Jorge, what's your takeaway from week 1, buddy?
Two big takeaways that I had from week 1 are if you went early on wide receiver, you're happy because those guys delivered. Those guys absolutely delivered, and so many people were calling for hero RB or zero RB. Those people are happy. I think the running back dead zone is if you avoided that, you're also happy. So I look at those. I think this is going to be an interesting year where I think if you paid up for the quarterback too, I think guys are doing well. Let us pray that Justin Herbert is okay and isn't going to miss any significant amount of time and isn't going to be kind of like hobbled or slowed down at all. But I mean it's just based on early returns. If you drafted Mahomes, you drafted Allen. you're going to have a big season. And the other thing is they have very good playoff schedules. So those guys are going to deliver for you in the playoffs. So I guess 3 takeaways for me.
Yeah, no worries. So for mine's pretty basic. When it comes to team performance, don't worry about chaotic week 1. Things happen. Yes, I was mad that Houston tied Indy, but that's partly because I think ties are bullshit and I don't think they belong in football, but that's another story. I don't think it's not a coincidence that there are 6 games this week with an 8-point spread as of Wednesday or more, and 5 of those teams that are favored by 8 or more, 5 of the 6 lost last week. That just shows you that things can get crazy in the NFL. I mean, Cincinnati's favored. Pat's Green Bay Packers were favored by, 10 at one point?
Yeah, last I saw it was 10.
Niners were favored by 10 at one point. Denver was favored by 10. It just shows you that week 1 was such a chaotic week. So don't overreact on that when it comes to betting or even fantasy football, because obviously bad performances, people are going to overreact to bad performances by certain players and by certain teams. Other than that, just don't react, but don't overreact is how I see it.
I
don't.
Go, Jorge.
Definitely. No. Go ahead, St. Pat.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the really big things we saw last week was we had a lot of road favorites going into the week, and that mixed with big crowds, big excitement for the season, led to some really interesting matchups. So while San Francisco was a huge favorite against Chicago, playing in a foot of water, I don't think either team drafted Aquaman this year. But
they should have because it's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain in the Bay on Sunday, and Fields is going to get rained for 2 straight games.
Which means everyone's going to freak the fuck out again.
It's interesting. My family, we did a survivor pool, and after last weekend, because of the people who took San Francisco and Denver, there's only 3 teams left, and I'm one of them. I originally had the Dolphins, and I got scared because I kept thinking, what am I doing picking against Belichick with a rookie coach? So I switched off of them, and I had to sweat out the Eagles beating the Lions.
You should remember the one true rule, my friend. Miami always wins against the Patriots in Miami.
That's the reason why I had them. That's the reason why I had them originally. So because of that, and I will say in one of my leagues where defense matter, where I have defense, I grabbed after the draft, I grabbed Miami Dolphins defense, and they delivered for me. Yeah, that was weird. This week's a little bit easier. It was really hard trying to pick a survivor last week because I was like, man, there's all these road favorites, and I hate picking road favorites. I love home dogs.
So let's get into the next topic. And this is right up my alley. Thursday night football, the LA Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Jorge, you're going to start off. What did you think about the game? And if you did have a takeaway from the game, what is it?
Phenomenal game. I actually, my big takeaway is that the Chiefs, their defense, especially their pass rush, I think is further along than I thought they were going to be. At this time of year. I remember the preseason interviewing Sports Illustrated writer Josh Briscoe, and he said that it was going to be about the first half of the season where some of these young guys were going to get more acclimated. So they're good. Patrick Mahomes is just a beast. But you know what? Another big takeaway: everybody who said that CEH is dead, that they were premature. They were premature. That guy's definitely a part of this offense.
Yeah, well, I have stuff to say when it's my turn, but we'll leave that there for now. Pang, I know you have something to say about this game. I know you mentioned Mike Williams before. What do you got for this game?
So there's 2 things, right? Where we touched on Austin Eckler for the week 1 portion, week 2 situation. If I'm a Mike Williams roster manager, which I am in a lot of my things, I'm not too happy about it, right? So like you're stoked that you got the points. But there was a vanishing act, basically, in the second half, I want to say it was the entire second half. He was basically gone. And that tells me one thing and one thing only. He's not that elite. I know people are going to get all fucking crazy about it and saying, like, what do you mean he's not elite? He got 100 yards against 100 yards against a rookie cornerback in one-on-one coverage with the, fourth best quarterback in the league in passing right now? At least the fourth, top 5, top 8, whatever you want to call him, right? I don't know. It's a weird takeaway to see someone kind of go vanishing halfway. It just tells you can game plan against them. He's not proof. Like, he's just not Michael Thomas, right? With Drew Brees. He's not Patrick Mahomes or Tyreek Hill. You can literally stop him. And I think that was the issue of Mike Williams coming to the season. He's somebody you can always stop. He's always someone you can deal with. He may vanish, right? Why, he's someone that will go 9 great games and 8 crappy ones. And I think we saw that even though he put up last night, he should have gone for more. In a game where the Chargers are trailing, he didn't get 30, 50 more yards. That's a little surprising to me. And I know we could say, well, that's football, but he had no Keenan Allen. So it tells me if I can sell high before Keenan Allen comes back, I might try it. Because if you're in a regular league non-best ball, like you cannot rely to have a 0 or a 3 points. He kind of reminds me of Alshon Jeffries. Remember, big body guy. Everyone considered him elite. But when Brandon Marshall came back the year after, Alshon kind of vanished again. He might be a sub 1,000 yard person this season. 1,000 and maybe 10 touchdowns. But those 1,000 yards come in 9 games, and then you're kind of boned for the other eight games. So I would probably try to sell high Mike Williams. I know some people are going to find that kind of bad, but I mean, what else? He should have had a bigger game. If he gets 6 to 7 catches in the first half, and he only finishes with 1 to 2 more in the second, it just tells you can shut him down. It must have shut him down with Thornhill and a rookie corner. That's not amazing to me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say, the way he's playing feels a lot like Allen Robinson. He's unable to create that separation and just get open mid route.
Yeah, all his catches were like
he's having
amazing.
a high point. He's having to jump over the corner as he's standing there waiting for the ball. And I don't think that's necessarily on Justin Herbert. That's just on the type of wide receiver that Michael Thomas has always been in his career. So what does that mean? He's Allen Robinson without the injury history.
No, he's had injuries. He's had injuries. Just
Mike Williams has had injuries. He was pretty irrelevant for the first 3 to 4 years of his career. Kind of like Corey Davis. He was just another. Him and Corey Davis were drafted in the same year.
That's right. They were only a few picks apart too, because they were both. I think they were both. Top
that was
10
kind
picks.
of a busty-ish year for wide receivers drafted early. But I don't know. That's just how I feel. Like, and I love Mike Williams in the sense that I thought he was a great value guy in the past years. But now he's in the 2nd, 3rd round, 4th round guy. Like, I don't know. I'm not confident walking out there with him as my 1, my 2 every week. You'll do it because you have to, because you go, whoa, what if, right? But this isn't DFS. This isn't best ball. You can't what if your one-on-one matchups. It just seems like, Leaf defense just said it. Gets 0 separation. If Bro wasn't 6'4", he would be asked. He has to. He literally caught a ball where it was a falling ball, and he had to just do this janky one-arm catch. Great. But Justin Herbert isn't a bad quarterback, so he's not going to be like, well, 50-50 balls are fun. Bad quarterbacks do that. Mitchell Trubisky does that. But good quarterbacks, they'll just, as Peyton Manning say, don't get bored and give them what you take. Take what they give you, right? So he's just going to do that every chance. So I don't know. I know people are going to be jumping up and down for Mike Williams, but I just think I'm not stoked about it. After that second half.
But are you selling high? But are you I mean, the one thing that you're selling people on is the connection to Herbert, and I don't know if you're going to be able to get much for him right now with Herbert just kind of like a question mark. I almost feel like hold and just.
He's day to day. You're selling him the same way you would sell Sutton last year when Jerry Jeudy was out. That 4 to 6 week span where everybody was excited but everybody knew there was a timer on Sutton. They were like, oh man, like after week 5 when Jeudy comes back, Sutton's gonna be ass. And it was true. He ended up being ass. And that's what I would do with Mike Williams. I don't think he's going to be like ass by any means, but you're basically just running him for Week 17 against Rams and Chargers, and I don't know if if I could sell him high for a plus, another receiver plus a running back. I'd do it. You mean sure? You probably get Kyle Pitts and a friend from him right now. Kyle Pitts had a bad week. Would someone say no to Kyle Pitts and a friend?
Oh my God, yeah, I'd say that. I'd do that in a second with the scarcity of tight ends. Absolutely.
So I don't know.
Absolutely, that's a play to get Pitts that way. And you know what? The thing with the Mike Williams experience is going to be, it's always going to be, you're riding the roller coaster ride. He's going to have the big weeks, and then he's going to have the weeks where he's just where he disappears like in week 1. So that's tough. It's such a good offense though when it's humming.
So, Pat, what is your takeaway before I do my lovely rant?
My big takeaway is, as much as we say that Vegas doesn't know anything, Vegas knew this game.
Yes, they did.
I ate it.
What was the over-under at? 52?
54 at the end of the game.
Well,
4.5 on the spread too, and there was 3.5 when I took it on Wednesday.
When I did some of my picks on Twitter, it was 52 was the line, and 3.5 or 2.5 was the spread. They had that game perfect, as close as you can get. People talk about how Monkey Knife Fight has perfect lines. Across the board, the books knew that game. It was a 27-24 game, and they knew it.
Yeah. At the end, right before kickoff, it was 54 over under and a 4-point spread on DK. Like, holy cow!
No, I mean,
it opened at 3.5.
They knew that last night was going to be everything that it was. The fact that the under is still undefeated, that is a stat, an astounding stat within itself.
So that stat that Robbie's talking about, I got this from someone that I trust. They said that it's the 8th time in the history of the game in a certain amount of years that we've had a regular season over under at 54 or more. And going into last night, the under was 7-0 in those games, and now it's 8-0.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Is this on the opener?
No, just closing.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. It's just when it closes. Wow. Yeah. When it closes, not when it opens. When it closes.
It closed at 54.
Oh yeah.
Fascinating.
But how far have we gotten through so far?
So we did week 1, and we're on the Thursday night game, and it's up to me. But I'd rather you go about your takeaway from last night. I want you to give your takeaway from last night's game before I have a rant.
Yeah, no, let's yeah. So last night's game, obviously, we you guys sat down with us. We were able to commentate that for you all. Make sure you guys check out Rumday Night Football this upcoming Monday night, and of course, we will have Rum Zone for you all day Sunday, so you won't want to miss that. Last night's game, Mike Williams was an absolute monster, could not be stopped. But for what's his name, Jalen Watson.
Yeah.
For Watson, a 7th round pick to step up after literally getting done like dirt. For pretty much the betterment of the first half of the game, and then for him to come out, make that monstrous interception, which honestly is what won the Chiefs game. From the Chiefs. From the Chiefs' standpoint, it was not pretty football at all. But in the end, defense does when defense is what wins championships. We say it all the time in this sport. And last night, the defense went ahead and won for them. It was not the same display that you got from the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1. With that being said, and with that being stated, between everything that you saw, all the games encompassing that took place in week 1, and then heading into last night, if you haven't learned your lesson as a fantasy football player, allow last night to teach you. Okay? All those that wanted to go out and overhype week 1 and everybody running around, do I need to trade this guy? What do I need to do? What move should I make? You're overreacting. It's okay to overreact as the season progresses, and those overreactions should grow and grow and grow more. There are some of you guys out there, though, that I am worried about at the given moment because we're already panicking about being 0-1, and we're like, oh well, like I lost I lost Dak, and now I'm worried. I'm not going to be able to make the playoffs. No, you're going to make trades. You're going to listen to Rumboyz. You're going to listen to Rumboyz Fantasy Network on YouTube. And you're going to like, comment, and subscribe. But the second thing you're going to do is you're not going to panic. You're going to be water. We're going to give you the advice. We're going to hit the waivers. We're going to make trades. We're going to do whatever it is. We're going to tailor advice to you as long as you put your damn questions in the chat so that we can ask them. We're going to tailor our advice to you based off what you ask to give you the best help and the best analysis. So I wanted to make sure that I stated that because I've seen a lot of overreactions between what took place last night and what took place in week 1. So don't overreact. Anything can happen, like a 7th round pick taking it to the house and winning a game for his respective team. Be water. What's your rant, Mike?
Before I rant, does anyone have anything to add to Robbie's?
That interception's on Brandon Staley.
Okay, here we go.
That interception's on Everett's miscommunication of where to be.
Everett was supposed to be off the field.
He was. Yeah. He was not supposed to be in on that play. But
that was a matter of
he tapped out.
He was trying to get out. They rushed the line.
Yeah. Yep.
That's on Staley, and not communicating that you just threw the ball to the same tight end twice, and now you're at the goal line. And you're asking him to do even more.
He also looked a little hobbled too.
Like he took hits. At some point, you got to be able to get off the field.
All right, here we go. Yes, we won the game. We're bringing up Jalen Watson. He got smoked in the first half. We know Pang's mentioned what he said about Mike Williams, and when Robbie mentioned about Mike Williams, and I was going to bring him up if no one did, but I knew someone would, so I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But we would have lost that game. That was a big swing because we were down by 3 when that happened. We should have been down by 10. We ended up going up by 4. Then everything else happened with Herbert getting hurt and all that. Our secondary sucks. I'm sorry. I know there was a 99-yard touchdown, but I don't care. The secondary is not very good. Snead did a couple decent plays, but he got burned.
I thought Gay did pretty well.
Yeah, but Gay's a linebacker. I'm talking about the back.
True.
The front 7 did decent. Jorge brought it up that the front 4 is ahead of schedule, and I agree with that. But in this new passing offense of the league, we need the secondary to step up more. I talked to Robbie about this on air. I am afraid that Juan Thornhill, if he doesn't show up this year, Juan Thornhill is not the guy that I thought he could be and wanted him to be. We let go Tyrann Mathieu. We drafted a cornerback in McDuffie from wherever we drafted him from at this point, and he's on the IR. We have to step up on that. One thing that I wanted to bring up, and I'm not saying he's complete garbage. I know I'm out on him. Jorge brought him up. That's why I'm bringing him up. CEH. Ooh. Yes, he is. I understand what Jorge is saying, that he's prevalent back again. But for this team, I think he still needs more than 12 touches a game for him to be what I want, and I think we need him to be for the team. Spreading the ball out is fine, but this team needs to clean it up. Even on the offensive line, we're talking Orlando Brown got blew up a couple times.
Yeah, Orlando Brown was
my buddy, the guy that I love, Andrew Wiley, got blew up a couple times. Going against the teams, and I know you said we didn't play like last week, Robbie, but what I'll say to that is Arizona's defense is hot garbage.
Arizona's defense also came out of
they're already going to be one of the worst in the league.
Yeah. This defense that we went against that I think is going to end up possibly winning the division still is for real. I'm still not sold on my team. I need to see more. I know that's just me being a passionate fan, but I had to get this rant out of the way because I haven't been able to vent.
No, I mean, I respect and I appreciate the passion. I can completely understand that. Two, you're right. Your offensive line didn't play up to par. On to week 3 if you're Kansas City, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And now who do we go against? Our next 3 games are freaking. Our next 4 games are Indianapolis, Tampa Bay,
Easy.
the Raiders, and Buffalo. Those are our next 4 games.
You only got one easy win in that.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's Indy. Yeah.
I don't even think that's an easy win.
It's an easy win. It's an easy
Indy?
win.
Not Indy.
It's an easy win. Let's not sit here on this show and hype up the Indianapolis Colts to be something they're not.
Let's wait to see what they play this week, okay?
Very, very, very true. Very, very true.
They play Jacksonville. If they shit the bed against Jacksonville, then let's talk.
Yeah. We're still waiting to see what Indy is made of. So I think that's a fair conversation there, a fair sentiment there. Yeah, man. You guys got to step it up. The Chargers look damn good. They look damn good. Aside from Staley messing up on not he probably maybe could have called a timeout there. But I understand against a team like that, not wasting a timeout. And praying and hoping for the best. Speaking of prayers, we Justin Herbert, speedy recovery. We hope that everything is going to be all good to go.
Please be good.
Please
be good.
Like
The NFL is better with him in it.
Yes, the NFL is better with him in it for sure.
I was ready to go buy bar soap after seeing his ad for what is that random soap that he's doing now?
Yeah, it's like some random.
Right,
I told my wife, I was like, I'm buying the soap.
Okay.
I'm buying this soap.
I have to make a comment on this comment.
What?
Jamie says, imagine if the Chiefs drafted Taylor instead of CEH.
I think you could see a lot of the. You could.
I'd rather see DeAndre Swift there.
I wanted DeAndre Swift. Swift was the guy I wanted, and trust me, if you think I am freaking being boisterous and passionate right now, you should have seen me on draft day when I saw that. Yep. I heard running back, and I went yippee, and I went, oh shit.
As soon as you found out that it was CEH, I remember that. That was a great clip.
To be fair, I like Swift, but man, that guy is like just lives 1 foot in the medical tent, man. That guy, I would rather have Taylor, like, because he even came into the draft injured. I remember that too.
But would you see? I'm not saying I want it now, but going into that night, I wanted Swift.
I still would, just because, like I said, he's one of those. I never like it when rookies have these like weird, like his hamstring's fucked up, his groin is fucked up, and he hasn't even gone to snap. And you could say, well, Davis, that's one time. And I'm like, no, that's not fucking true. Like, look at Justin Ross. He injured himself doing the 40-yard dash. Like, come on. Like, why are we draft? You know what I mean? It's interesting. Like, especially when they're undersized and they already have wear and tear, especially at the running back position that receives the most contact possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it would have thrown me off. It would. It's not the. I mean, sure, he's great. He's elite, all that fun jazz. But when you literally live in the questionable realm, it's just like drafting Jameson Williams this year. It's a questionable move when in the first round or second. He got drafted in the first or second, super early though.
Yeah, he was still drafted early.
Yeah. And it funny enough, it's the Lions who did it. But it's one of those, like, it really throws you off. A lot of those times those picks don't work out. I mean, think about the one linebacker that went to the Cowboys. Think about the running back that went to the 49ers. They were like, oh, he's a 1 week it was a second or third round pick they took, and he literally just never played. Like, it's scary.
It happens all the time. I mean,
the Cowboys guy you're talking about is Jalen Smith.
Yeah, it's him.
Smith. Yeah.
It'd be a great story. I'm glad that the Cowboys took a risk on the guy and paid him and all that stuff. But man, like, those moves really don't work out. I don't know. CH was obviously the bad pick there, but I could see not wanting to draft a undersized running back with injury issues already coming into the league.
Yeah,
I don't know how excited I would be as a franchise doing that.
No, you're 100% correct. I mean, with Washington, like I'll use this as an example. With Washington, I had mixed emotions. Back in 2010. No, 2012. My fault. Oh my gosh, 2010. I was still in the freaking military. Wow. in 2012 or like 13 or whatever, when we drafted RG3. I was ecstatic because it's like, we're finally gonna get a running QB in Washington. Like we had never ever had that. Like that was never a thing. And I knew that we had needed one. Especially with the way the NFL was changing at the time. And then he gets hurt, and he was never the same after that. Like, and we hear about it all the time, where it's like, I was this amazing high school athlete, and then I blew my knee out or whatever. Like this, we see it. We see those stories that we hear from regular day people on TV every day. So I love that you bring up that point. Like I don't know if I would have went and gotten DeAndre Swift at given the injury history.
Yeah, I mean he finished the game this past week, and they were already like, he's hurt. We don't know what he's really gonna do next week. I'm like, what? It's like week 1. Like it's every year. Every year he's been in the league, it's always ends up going, well, you know what? He's hurt again, and I'm like, fuck, dude. Like what do you say as a fan, especially on a franchise that's not good?
Mario CP asked Russell or Kyler this week. Also, for his tight end positions, he is asking about Ertz or Pitts. Jorge, I'll let you start off with this one.
Pitts.
Yeah, Pitts is the obvious answer. Yeah.
If you drafted Pitts, you need to start him.
Yeah,
exactly. You drafted him in the 2nd or 3rd round.
I don't even know why Ertz
Russell or
team,
Kyler.
honestly.
Wow, they both have great matchups. I think slightly go Russell. And what the hell are you doing drafting having both those guys, Mario CP?
Yeah.
But Russell at home opener. Kyler's on the road in Vegas. It's going to be loud in Allegiant. So slight nod to Russell.
Yeah, I would. Here's the issue with starting Russell Wilson. Hackett ain't gonna let him cook, is what we learned. I get that I just talked about, and I ramped and raved about overreacting to week 1. Hopefully Hackett can get, from a coaching standpoint, can get his shit together. But I guess I would probably lean Russ a little bit more, just because Vegas is gonna be on fire. I feel like.
I say Kyler, and the reason I say Kyler is I agree with both you and Jorge about Pitts, obviously. But the reason I say Kyler is Jorge said they both have good matchups, but I think Kyler is actually going to be from behind. And Russell, I think, is going to get to the point where they're going to be ahead against Houston and run the ball more with Melvin Gordon and Javonte. And I think Kyler's going to get some points later in the second half by trying to have to be behind and have to wing the ball.
Is Houston that bad, though?
I like the comment. I like that. Is he just that bad?
We don't know.
I don't know. Actually, that's the same response I was going to have.
There's a reality to it of the Colts weren't great, but Houston wasn't bad.
No, but I'm saying even if they're up by 7, I still 7 or 10. I mean, even if it's not, I don't think Denver's going to be behind. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. I wouldn't say they're going to cover, like I mentioned in the first topic. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to cover the 10, but I still think they're going to be ahead.
That's interesting. There,
they could be. The game script doesn't change enough. The numbers don't match up with the pushing the running game as much when you're up by 7 versus neutral or within 3.
But to Robbie's point, do you think Hackett is going to let Russ cook? Kyler is going to have to cook.
The numbers are, with the way people are talking about him, I think he's going to need to let Russell cook.
Okay, so it's a 10 team.
He needs a job. He's new to the league. He needs that job.
Yeah, so we all pretty much agree on Pitts.
Yeah.
Anyone want to be the difference maker here? I feel like everyone's kind of mostly on Wilson.
I would rather play Kyler.
You'd rather play Kyler?
Kyler's got a higher ceiling.
Kyler can run the ball. He's one of those guys that, like, especially if you're playing a 6-point touchdown passing, then I probably wouldn't. But if you're playing in any other league that isn't doing that, no completions, just standard basic quarterback standard rules, I'd play Kyler. The way I look at, and I wrote a whole article about Wilson about this. It's like everyone talks about him cooking and about him being this really great elite quarterback, right? Wilson
I
is.
remember this article.
And I wrote it. I actually wrote it back-to-back years, going like, I just don't want him. I just don't want Russell Wilson as early as people are drafting him, because not only does he vanish for half a season, he's basically the Mike Williams of quarterbacks. He's also just a good quarterback. He's literally mentally sound. He knows how to make his reads. He knows how to do his things. He knows how to scramble. He has all the ability to be great, but that doesn't mean he's good for fantasy, right? And I think we saw plenty of that last week. He could have easily gone further down the field. No one's making him pass to Javonte Williams on the line of scrimmage. Nobody's doing that. He's making the decision at the end of the day to do that, right? The only person doing that is probably the spirit of Teddy Bridgewater left in the uniforms. But seriously, like that's all fucking Wilson is. And that's what Wilson, he's a veteran quarterback that's been in the league, that knows how to get the ball down the field. I don't want him to ad-lib, because when he ad-libs, he's actually not that great. We've seen this. He sucks whenever there's too high. He doesn't know what to do. Everyone's joking about this. The minute he sees cover 2, it's like, fuck, I'm not going anywhere with this ball anymore. It's like, I don't know why people expect Wilson to put up. His receivers aren't better than the ones he had last year. Are we going to argue that Sutton and Judy is that much better, or even on par with Metcalf and Lockett? It's probably not. So I don't know. I would play Kyler. I think Kyler's the way to go. Know that he's a younger guy that will make these crazier moves, go deep, run the ball. He could put up 30 to 40 points just by running it and whatnot.
Here's what I'll say before we dive into Albert's question here that I have up on the screen. I'll actually switch my take over to Kyler, just because I feel like he's going to have to come out and be pissed off after losing terribly last week. So I think he comes out and plays with a vengeance.
The SpongeBob. I'm not a Kyler guy either.
I can see that, and I'm actually the more we think about it, and really really said it best. But yeah, I think Kyler's the play, because he could go nuclear. One bit of advice for Mario on your league next year: try Superflex for 10-team leagues. I would go Superflex. Make those QBs much more valuable. And then when you have Kyler. Then when you have Kyler and Russ, then it makes all the more sense. 10 teams is perfect, because then everybody gets 3 quarterbacks.
Wilson's fine, and I think he is good. It's just one of those things that just throws me off when people draft him, especially with 2 quarterbacks in a 1 QB league. It just didn't make any sense. I feel like you wasted capital doing that.
Albert asked, if Pittman is out, would you start Gabe Davis or Waddle full PPR? Gabe Davis.
It's going to be Gabe Davis.
It's going to be, yeah.
I don't want to admit it, but it's Gabe Davis.
Home game. They're gonna be throwing it up. You got a 10-point. They're 10-point favorites. Pass happy offense. He's the number 2 target. I'll take him. Love Waddle, but I'll take him.
And again, where are we getting this many top wide receivers other than like?
I know Gabe Davis was going later in redraft, right? If you were drafting in like expert leagues or best ball, Gabe Davis was going early. But if you're drafting redraft at home, I saw him going to 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th round.
He could have gone 0 RB and just ended up with 3 dudes.
Yeah.
It happens. That's
I'm just also saying like your flex is also there.
I hate the way that you just said he could have ended up with 3 dudes. I'm gonna be honest. And 10-team leagues add more flex spots. Yeah.
My favorite is for 6 or 8 teams, like to double the starting positions.
If you're playing in 6 or 8 teams and you post a question in my damn live stream chat, I'm gonna tell my mods to block you. Straight up.
Dude, 8 leagues are a pain though, man. You've been in an 8 league, like everybody's just like has you staunchy teams.
I've been in an 8 league.
Weird
before,
ass shit. Like
I was gonna say with the 10-team league with the question about Russ or Kyler, you have to go for this higher ceiling due to other teams having
they're stacked.
They're more stacked. It's more funneled to the top. You need to shoot for the sky.
Yeah.
You need to go for the 170-point week.
Honestly,
instead of the
if I was him,
130-point
I'd
week.
shoot for fucking Carson Wentz against Detroit Lions this week if he was on the waiver somehow still. I'd do that.
Yes. All,
Carson's my guy.
all commanders are startable this week in fantasy. You are starting all of your commanders.
That's
Guy.
And all your Lions.
Here, let me see one thing. Y'all are gonna see me freeze really quick. Give me 1 second. Here, let me check. Which one of y'all lives in the hood?
You.
It's racist, man.
I'm
You-
actually not filming from
Actually,
Colorado
Jorge,
Springs. Tonight.
Jorge lives in LA. That's all we got to
Yeah,
say.
that's true.
That's true. He does live in LA.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter where he's in LA. It doesn't matter where.
Puppy,
in
I'm
LA.
at. Puppy, I've
So
been
we
at a
went-
tire store for 6 hours and getting my
Still
wife's
there.
car worked on.
Are
so
they
I'm
building
doing it
you
from-
the tire? Are they making the rubber like in the
Are
fucking
they
place?
taking?
you know?
Are they taking your tires? Is your car just up on blocks and you're just sitting there waiting for them
Yeah.
to like?
Did they leave?
So here's what we're gonna go ahead and do. We're gonna go ahead really fast. We are gonna. I feel like right now is like super appropriate for us to be able to get into halftime. On he said O block sounds. Oh my gosh, Chirac. Speaking of that, Washington allowed Robinson to have the third highest yards per carry of his career. Etienne had 11.8 yards per carry and could have had 2 TDs. Smashed over on yards for Swift this week.
I'm telling you, start all your commanders and all your
if he
Lions.
plays.
Right?
If Swift plays.
Dude, if we lose to the Lions this I'll talk about that on the second half of the show. So what we are going to do right now, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get into halftime. I know I play this track quite often, but like given the weekend, we got to give y'all a little bit of the a little bit of Espanol vibes, a little bit of reggaeton vibes. So we're going to get into a track here, the homie Angelo Phoenix, featuring my good friend. My good friend, the homie Pilot Flying. You guys have seen him perform here on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network for our Super Bowl kickoff party last year. So let's go ahead and get into this music video. This is Touchdown. And a word from our sponsor, the Monkey Knife Fight.
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a monkey knife fight.
And one day, they met one team partners in the NFLPA.
It's a match made in the pits of a monkey knife fight.
And everyone lived happily ever after.
Are you listening? This is big.
What is a monkey knife fight?
You know, it's thing monkeys, knives, you get it. Fantasy sports is monkey knife fight. And monkey knife fight is fantasy sports.
Monkey Knife Fight is daily fantasy.
Monkey Knife Fight in the house.
I am Monkey Knife Fight.
You are Monkey Knife Fight.
We are all Monkey Knife Fight.
Monkey knife fight.
You have the NFLPA behind the company.
It's exciting for me to be a part of fantasy sports.
When I think of fantasy sports, I think of beating all my buddies year in and year out and being able to brag about it.
We're not just partners in it.
We're owners.
And it feels awesome to be an owner.
I challenge you to a monkey knife fight.
We've been saving you a seat at the table, Monkey Knife Fight.
Welcome to the one team and NFLPA family.
Monkey knife fight. Welcome to the family, Monkey Knife Fight.
Welcome to the game, Monkey Knife Fight.
Monkey Knife Fight!
I challenge you to a monkey knife fight.
Monkey knife fight! Monkey knife fight, monkey knife fight, monkey knife fight, monkey knife.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one and the only Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboys and girls. What it do, dilly dilly. We love and appreciate each and every single one of you. Make sure that you love and appreciate us back by sharing the content. Make sure you guys definitely hit that share button, okay? The share button is probably more important or just as important as the like button. So go ahead and share the content. Share it with your aunties, your uncles, your best friends, your cousin Pookie who just got out of jail. Who else? Everybody, all right? Aunts, uncles, friends, family members, classmates. Y'all need to make sure they put them on there, all right? Put them on to the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Hit that like button. Drop a comment. And subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We greatly appreciate you. Y'all ready to get back into the other half of the show?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, I know I am. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, NFL Rum Zone Sunday, as well as NFL AM here on the Rumboyz YouTube channel. We're going to be going over DFS. We'll be laying down all of our bets for each game, so on and so forth, and much more. So make sure you guys get on over there. Also, dive off into the Rumboyz Discord. We're going to be real active in there tomorrow. Answering fantasy questions and also dropping our parlay cards as well for all of our premium members that watch us. You can get Rumboyz Premium for $6.99 a month. That is right, $6.99. No number more kinky than that, right? We can't get more kinky than that. Without further ado, let's get into the very next topic. I want to discuss fantasy football trades, okay, and the art of the fantasy football trade. I feel like that there really is a finesse, if you will. What are some tips and tricks before we go big picture? I kind of just want each analyst give everyone one tip in regards to that's not just the tip. Give everyone one tip, okay, in regards to making a quality fantasy football pitch. Just one. We'll start with Jorge.
Well, first off, one thing I love to do is I love to look at the teams that it's a good fit for. So I'm not gonna go trying to shop Jonathan Taylor to somebody who's got multiple stud running backs. So to promote to offer Kyle Pitts to someone who has Travis Kelce. So not going to do that. Definitely going to pay attention to the team. And the thing that I tell people all the time, I mean, I get the art of negotiation, but don't offer them 3 players for 1 player, for 1 stud, because you're insulting anybody who's doing that. So try and do 2 for 2, 1 for 1, things that are helpful.
Equitable.
Yeah, exactly. Don't try and screw somebody right off the bat because people. Yeah, I mean, very few people. if you're going to be able to beat somebody on a 3-for-1 deal where you're getting the one best player, find a better league to play in.
I mean, also, and you may be handicapping yourself by putting yourself into that type of deal because you just got this one stud player, but if that one stud player, that one stud player may not be totaling what the other 2 or 3 may be totaling. So think about the mathematics behind it as well. Peng.
I think Jorge said it pretty much the best way to say it. It's like make trades that make sense, right? Doing 3-for-1. I mean, sometimes I would say you have to make trades convenient, right? You don't want the other guy to go, well, who am I going to drop? What am I going to do? Well, if it's not convenient, then why are they doing it, right? It has to be convenient for them on their team. Then it has to be convenient for them to make a decision, right? Like if I have to sit there and think about it, like, well, if I do take this trade and it helps me, who am I going to drop? And I think that's the part that would kill half my trades. If I have to figure out 2 guys I need to drop to get this deal done, it would just kill it before it even started. Because I know I'm not going to do that. I would say another thing that I would do for trades is don't try to bring draft value into it. I know that we all do this in our heads. Like, well, I gave a 4th for this guy. I gave a 6 for this guy. I mean, draft value doesn't win at the end of the day. You don't get bonus points for taking a guy in the first round that doesn't play. You know what I'm saying?
You think about it like this. You can't say, well, I bought Amazon back in 99, when it was below $100. Like it's not 99 anymore. Like the season has started, you're not drafting anymore. So that draft capital goes out the window. I like that. Yeah, you can't buy stock at yesterday's price. Don't try and buy a player at yesterday's draft price.
Exactly. So guys that you might not be too hot on, or oh well, that's bullshit. This guy got Zay Jones for basically free. Well, what if Zay Jones keeps doing what he's doing? You're gonna feel like an idiot when you could have pulled that trigger earlier. And by then, that guy's gonna not want to trade him, because in his mind or her mind, they're thinking, well, I paid nothing for this person. I might be able to get an upgrade. So I would say that's one of those things I always try to do is try to forget what I paid or what they paid for. Makes your life a lot better.
Agreed. Pat.
Don't flirt at a funeral.
Whoa. How else am I gonna get laid?
And what I mean by that is a guy loses a stud due to injury, and you are immediately in their ear talking about it, trying to get them a replacement guy. Give it a minute. Let the official reports come out. The number of trade talks I've completely ignored because someone rushed to try and start something because of breaking news. You're trying to take advantage of someone. You're a con man at that point. You're hoping that you get the great end of the deal. Don't try and flirt at a funeral.
I like that. Don't try and flirt at a funeral. Wow. Okay, so be cognizant of how severe. Would you say be cognizant of how severe an injury is before trying to make the move?
Or even just any breaking news.
Okay.
Off-season as well. Contracts. Any little extra report. Like, just give it a minute.
Jamie said Wedding Crashers disagrees.
Yeah, I was thinking of Wedding Crashers too.
Dude, I had that scene in my head, but I couldn't think of any lines from that exact scene.
That's exactly.
Mom, where's my meatloaf?
Okay.
That shit cracks me up.
Mike, what do you got? Give us some advice on trading. The art of the deal.
Don't be afraid if it's close but not close enough yet. If you're trying to throw an extra piece in there or get an extra piece from someone, go, hey, what about a 24 pick? Because those picks people aren't valuing yet. You might be able to slide a pick into the trade that people aren't valuing yet, and you can use that later on.
Very sound advice for dynasty and even keeper leagues. I know a lot of you guys out there playing keeper leagues, which kind of have loosely similar rules to dynasty. So I like that advice.
And in one of my dynasty leagues, I'm going against St. Pat this week. So, yeah.
That's why you texted me good luck.
Yes.
I didn't even realize.
I said good luck.
Well, you see, it's been a week of like shifting things for me. So like,
Yeah. No, it's fine. I knew I would
fantasy
talk to you
football is
tonight.
not on
I
the
knew I would
forefront of
talk
my
to you
mind.
tonight.
The two for one is a redraft classic. I have no problems pulling off two for ones. I've done it before.
That's totally fine.
Here's what I'll say. And what I really want this to kind of hit home and rain home about. And I tweeted about this I believe about 2 days ago. We have Rumboyz Premium, and occasionally, and we have some that are premium subscribers that they don't have YouTube, but they still pay the premium. And one of my clients, he's in a league, he's in a keeper league, and one of their rules is, you have to send something back, and you have to send back like a pick or something, whenever making a trade. Trying it, and he was in a position to where he had lost Dak, Najee went down, so he was immediate overreaction time, right? He tried to make a deal with someone, and the person was like, "Yo, I'll give you Michael Thomas, but I want." Where the hell did Payne just go?
I'm here.
What the fuck? He was like, I'll give you Michael Thomas, but I think he had wanted something. He wanted like Javonte from him, and I think it was like Javonte in a second for him to get to get Michael Thomas, and freaking, and like the dude was gonna send back like a 10th and 11th or something like that. No, stop it. You didn't even draft Michael Thomas as a top receiver. Like knock it off. You didn't value him that high anyways. I bring this up because trades have to be equitable. Okay, it has to. If you really want a trade to go through, if you really want to trade, let's say that you are the buyer in the trade. Okay, so you are going to someone because there's a piece on their team they have that you want. You need to make a fair and equitable trade. If you try and come out and be like, I'm going to give you Logan Thomas, I'm going to give you Logan Thomas, Jarvis Landry, and I'm trying to think of like another extra player, Brandon Ayuk, all for, Justin Jefferson. No, stop it. That's not a fair and equitable trade. That person's not making that trade. Goes back to what Jorge was saying with the whole "give me your stuff" thing. The great Jake Trowbridge had his skit where he was like, "Hey, you want my stuff? Don't do that. Make trades fair and equitable."
I remember that video. I love that video.
I love that video.
That video is one of the best videos I think I've seen while we online.
In fantasy, yeah. That in my Zeke TikTok. No, for real, guys. Like fair and equitable is the way to go. If when you're looking at both sides of the trade, and you're like, if you're sitting there and you're grinning, you're like, oh, I'm about to get over on this dude. One, that person may not know how to play fantasy football, and you should probably find a different league. Two, yeah, it's going to work out for you, and you're going to get over on the guy, but the rest of your league mates are now not going to trade with you because they're going to view you as that type of person, that type of fantasy football player. Play with integrity, make fair and equitable trades. I promise you'll get more return on the offers that you're putting out because they're going to feel like you're doing good business. Just do good business in fantasy football, and don't lowball people. If you lowball,
please don't.
Yeah, you're terrible. You're scum. You're scum.
If you lowball people, you're gonna feel my balls.
My favorite is the guy who offers you something because that guy had one big game. He's like, but dude, Will Disney's had a big game. I think that guy might take him because his tight end sucks. Okay, his tight end is Kyle Pitts, man. Stop. Just because Will Disney, shut up. Shut up. Stop. Let's not do this. It's still fucking Will Disney. Let's move the fuck on. That kind of shit. You see it every week. Somebody's always out there but bruh, James Robinson just out-touched Travis Etienne, and then you're like, what am I gonna do then? You're gonna trade me James Robinson to my Travis Etienne team? Come on.
Yeah,
it's not how this works.
No, definitely pay attention to personnel. We'll go around the horn this one. Edmonds or ETN?
I can't answer this because I love them both. Edmonds.
Edmonds.
I want
I feel
Edmonds.
like-
I think he's got the full backfield. I'm not
I
worried
feel
about
like
him
it's
losing.
Edmonds. I feel like it's Edmonds given the matchup this week.
I want to say it's Edmonds just for the touches, but I want to say ETN because he actually looked better.
Jamie
Right,
should have prefaced this by saying that I think Jamie has the most shares of Chase Edmonds I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he does have a lot of Edmonds.
I want to say ETN has a better ceiling than Edmonds because ETN basically had 2 touchdowns taken away from him. One that he dropped and one that was just sailed over his head when he was just wide open. And I think we're talking a lot different when we go, wow, this guy had like 9 receptions and 2 touchdowns as a running back, right? Like it's a whole different look at it, not including the yardage. I think ETN's breaking off rust, and I think he's a better talent than Edmonds. So I would say Edmonds just for touches, but overall I'd rather have ETN. You give me the long haul, I want ETN because you know Trevor Lawrence is going to give him 7 to 10 targets a game, and I think you can't beat that at RB price.
I respect that take. Both are viable starts, but I mean honestly, you're asking between, one may have like that extra 5 points than the other that could help you win.
Well, one is going against the Washington Commanders, right? No.
No.
That was last week.
No, that was last week. What are you doing? Mike?
He gets those targets, and I like him. I mean, he bursted out of the backfield too.
That's what I'm doing.
I think he had 7 rushing attempts for 45 yards or something. Like that's not bad. It's really not.
I'm celebrating with Jorge.
Berto asked, what do you guys think about lowballing on purpose, but mention it ahead of time to show that you're interested? So,
actually, thank God you said this.
Stop.
Okay, actually,
I gotta say something before you go, real quick, Ping.
Yeah.
This happened once between me and Pat before me and Pat knew each other, and Pat didn't take it the right way because he didn't know me. So go ahead, Ping.
I was gonna say I would rather take a conversation opening something than doing. I hate this the most. I hate this fucking. If you ever do this, you're an idiot, and I fucking hate you.
I was wrong.
Hey man, I want player X. Pick somebody from my team randomly, because it doesn't tell me you're actually gonna trade him, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want X. Cool. What
I'm
does that
sorry.
mean?
I have no idea what that was.
What?
But yeah, no, low balling on purpose. It's honestly, it's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of the other person's time. We live this in everyday life. Time is money, right? I don't want to waste time looking through an offer just for you to try and counter or strike up a conversation. If you want to wheel and deal, we're in a fantasy league together. You can just call my personal phone and we can talk this out if that's what you're trying to do. If you want to keep sending trade and then sending one back and then sending, I don't like the back and forth. If that's the tactic that you want to use, just hop on the phone with the league mate and talk it out and go through each other's rosters and see what can be equitable for you. But to just send me a low ball offer to try and strike up conversation and for me to counter and go back and forth, you're wasting my time. You're wasting your time by the time. And then if I see the first offer and I don't like it, that's not from a perspective standpoint. Even you could send something really good and I could now not look at it and be like, no, I don't care anymore. So if you're gonna with trades, mean business, going with the intentions of we're here to get something done.
It comes across as my players are god tier and your players are trash.
Yeah,
such a low ball offer, and if someone has that perception of you, it's really hard for them to shake it.
Exactly. So I mean, if that's the case, just don't even send the trade offer at that point.
There's 10 other league mates to go to. I'll find someone else to trade with.
I would rather take an offer than the blind. Well, what do you want, my guy? Well, that doesn't tell me anything.
That annoys me. I would say the thing about the low ball offer, you're more likely to just insult the person and just like shut off all possibility of any more anymore because I've done that. I've been like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, and then I won't talk to them for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'll just be like, no. One of my cousins serves here. Okay.
Yeah. Someone offered me McKenzie for Pickens and Dynasty, so I offered him Calvin Austin for Allen Robinson.
The microaggressions in fantasy football are my favorite. I feel like there's a good video out there to be made.
I mean, as much as you guys might like Pickens, I think McKenzie might be a better value than Pickens right now.
You're kidding? No. All right. Sorry, Pang. No.
No, I mean, just because you don't know what quarterback situation's over there right now.
Nope.
He's not right immediately. It won't be a long-term thing, but I could see it like a short-term thing. McKenzie got usage last week.
McKenzie's the fourth option. He's never been anything. He's going to like his 6th year in the league. He's nothing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Stop making him.
I'm not.
Yeah, he's almost 29 years old.
I keep thinking he's a little bit younger, but no, you're right. He's a little bit older. Never mind.
He's bro. We've been playing with Isaiah McKenzie forever in Madden, bro. Like he's been a Madden player forever.
But he's not white. He's not white for Pang's teams.
Hey guys, unfortunately, my car's ready, so I have to.
All good.
I have to beg off after 6 hours. Much love to all you guys. Happy Mexican Independence Day. Please, Viva Mexico. Thank you so much. Viva la
Salud,
Dominicana to you, Robbie. Love you guys. Mike, let's go. Let's pop some more. St. Pat,
go Dodgers, go!
Guinness.
Go Dodgers, go!
And Peng, go Dolphins. Salud, everybody. Please follow me at Jorge Martin 17. Thank you so much, Robbie. As always, much love. Much love. Adios.
Be papi. Much love. All righty. We're gonna keep this thing moving. We're making damn good time. I'm gonna be completely honest. We've been doing really well these last couple of weeks on these shows. Okay, so that's our rants on trades. Mike, did you do must starts for week 2 yet? You're on mute.
You only missed the week 1 and the Chiefs game. Everything else, you're
on. At this time, we're going to go through must starts for week 2. All right. Each analyst will go around the horn, and we're going to give you 2 must starts that you may or may not be thinking about. That might be a bold move to go ahead and put them into your lineup. Last week, everyone practically hit on theirs. We threw out some Jahan Dotsons. I think Chase Edmonds was even mentioned.
Patterson.
Yeah, Cordell Patterson. So we hit heavy for you guys. So if you guys made some of those ballsy decisions, we're like, I don't know if I'm going to start Carson Wentz, and we told you to start Carson Wentz, and you did. This segment is going to pan out for you pretty well. Did you ban Payne for that McKenzie take? He's probably just doing something in the background. Mike, go ahead, and what are 2 must start players this week for you?
All right, so this one might sound whack, but I'm mainly sticking around the guys out of the top 20. And you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I am saying Allen Robinson. Because
I don't think it's crazy.
Because I think that if he is going to be integrated into this offense, it's going to be against Atlanta because McVay's going to try to force feed him, and Stafford's going to try to force feed him to show that he is going to be a part of this offense. Because if he's not a part of this offense, Van Jefferson can end up being the number 2 wide receiver, and that's not a good thing. Or Higbee.
Mm-hmm.
And at running back, I am going to go. Let's see here. They're playing. Oh, I know this. He's at 20. He's ranked 23, and I think he's going to have another good game. I think Kareem Hunt.
I like it. I like it, and that's a very solid take. I don't know why people were low on Hunt heading into the. I mean, I know why, but the fact that people were low on Hunt heading into the season, and you got him at such a value. I like that. So I'm in agreement with you there.
And they have him out of the top. They have him at 23 right now on Fantasy Pros DCR for week 2.
Hell yeah. What do you got, Mike? Or I'm not Mike. I mean, Pat.
Go ahead, Saintron Pat. Or yeah. I can't talk tonight.
Patron Saint. I think it's going to be interesting because you have Seattle where you're adding Kenneth Walker to the mix after a decent game from Penny, where Penny could have had a huge game, but had a couple big runs called back due to holding, and I'd hate to add those yards to his total, but a lot of people, he was that close to being the guy and having another breakout week and continuing his stretch. But someone we already mentioned earlier in the show, Chase Edmonds. I think we're starting Chase Edmonds against Baltimore this week. He's coming in just to the tail end of the top 24 running backs. But I think he should be closer to around 17, 18 this week. And then let's see, who was it? There was one wide receiver I had who I really liked this week. I think we're Michael Thomas is a must start now.
I don't get why he's so low.
I don't see it either. He showed exactly what he needed to show this last week. He made contested catches. He made big time in crucial game time. He was what the Saints looked to in that game to make the comeback. I'm not saying 2019 Michael Thomas is back.
Nope.
But Michael Thomas is a Pro Bowl level wide receiver. He's got that skill. He's got that skill set. You need to keep him in your lineup.
I like that. And maybe even see if you could try and trade for Michael Thomas before the hype gets too high.
Ooh. Going back to our trade conversation, he is someone I would be okay with taking a 2-for-1 where I'm getting 2 if Michael Thomas is one of those 2 guys.
Yep. Yeah.
I would give up a Keenan Allen for Michael Thomas and someone like an RB30.
Yep, something else that could be serviceable for you.
Maybe an Alexander Madison.
Okay.
You might be able to go. You could probably go better than that, but
you could. Yeah, you could go better.
That's what is popping off my head right now. But
so my 2. Well, the first one I'm gonna give is a tight end. And I'm actually
Thomas.
It is Logan Thomas. You need to start. You need to start Logan Thomas. As long as Logan Thomas is healthy, you're starting him. He has the capability of again ending in that top 8 tight end conversation. Like not just top 10. Like he could be like one of the top 8 guys. Like I could see him very well ending tight end 7. So Michael Thomas is a must play, a home run hit for me. And I have 2 running backs. One of them, which is in this conversation here, Jeff Wilson. I think that JWJ, if you're really, really hurting on running backs, you shouldn't be only through 2 weeks of football. If you're really, really hurting on flex players, you shouldn't be through 2 weeks of football. You've only gone through a month of football. I recommend Jeff Wilson Jr. We know that Shanahan, 49ers, they mix it up out in that backfield. There's going to be no Mitchell there due to the injury. We know that they utilize Deebo as kind of like this hybrid, but I don't think that'll eat too much into Jeff Wilson Jr. And then finally, Rex Burkhead. They are taking on the Texans are taking on the Broncos. And it seemed like he was the lead guy, and he was more efficient with his touches than what Pierce was last week. So if you want to take a flyer on him, I'm not saying maybe start him, but maybe snatch him up and put him in your on your bench. And give us 2 players.
Robbie, I got a quick question for you on Berto's question there. Would you take Hunt over Wilson there?
Yes. So in regards to Berto's question, I put it up because I was going to answer it. Wow. In regards to your question,
when you mentioned Wilson, I thought you were saying you were taking him there.
Yeah. Okay. In regards to your question there, Berto, it would be Hunt, Dotson, Wilson for me, and that'd be the order of how I'd start them. Give us.
Jamie's take. I just I'll touch on Jamie's takes really quick. I just don't like wide receiver 2s in the Steelers. I think I've never seen a team that tossed away good receivers at the 2 than I've seen the Steelers do it. So I call it
because they always end up with solid receivers.
And that's the problem. They always chuck them too. So like, I don't know how much of a dicey asset they really are. That's the it's like, oh, like Pickens this year, Claypool last year, like Martavis Bryant 2 years ago, James Washington. Like they always have these twos like forever. So I just don't consider them real fucking players beyond redraft some years. I feel like most of them are just one hit wonders. And I forgot McKenzie's a little bit older, and I just got skipped my mind. But yeah, that's why I'm not a Pickens guy. I just think that in a year or two you'll stop hearing his name. Like Juju was a guy, right? And we stopped hearing his name. It just happens more often than you would think, especially with quarterbacks just being all over the place. I think Pat F is the guy there. Like Pat Fryermuth is my guy. Like I fucking love him. Most targets last week. He was a guy I overly drafted, like at 30-something%. So that's why I'm more in that zone. I think if you're gonna pick anybody on the Steelers that isn't Deontay Johnson, it's Pat Fryermuth. I don't know. He was for what, a year and a half, 2? Like
you said one of your must starts for this week is Pat Fryermuth.
I just one of the guys I must draft is Pat Fryermuth. I fucking love Pat Fryermuth. Fucking him with Trubisky is amazing. But yeah, to answer the question for the actually got selected I would say Kareem Hunt and Dotson. I think if I had to pick 2, it'd be Kareem Hunt and Dotson. I think Dotson is just come on, man. Like Wentz loves spreading the ball around. People don't want to admit this, but he's not a hyper targeting guy. He's always spread the ball around. He's just never had the weapons to do it to. Last year, he was passing it to Zach Pascal and got him a few touchdowns. And Zach Pascal dropped. Not broken up, not missed him, but dropped a few touchdowns in the end zone a few times.
Yeah.
So I think like you go with Dotson, you're probably getting like 50 and a touchdown. That's fine. Like I'm okay with that for a flex play. I think you play Hunt. He's getting all these like 12 to 15 touches that are going to be receptions. It's relatable. I would take that. Jeff Wilson's playing in the rain, and that O-line looks bad against the Seahawks, who were very scrappy last week. I don't know. I would rather play those two. I play Hunt and Dotson. Hunt would be a safe play. Dotson would be that. I hope it's a shootout.
And are you just answering Berto's question, or are those your 2 must start this week?
For Rosales, that was my question for his thing. Alberto's Rosales' question, because you asked me to answer it earlier. But my must start, I would say just Pat F every week for a tight end. I just think he's so good. He had how many targets? I mean, in Trubisky, he loves throwing to the tight end. I've said this. I wrote about it. I tweeted about it over and over. I'm like, Trubisky has made relevant tight ends when tight ends even sucked. He made who's that fucking asshole we all liked? Trey Burton relevant when he shouldn't have been. He made Jimmy Graham in his 50th year of age relevant. Like I think you're fine if you play guys like Pat Fryermuth every week. That's the guy easily for that team.
So
okay.
There's one commander that I feel like we don't talk about right now, and he really reminded people that he existed. Curtis Samuel.
I'm not talking about.
What are we doing with Curtis Samuel? Is he just a DFS guy?
I would say stash him on your bench.
I need one more week.
So stash him on your bench and then wait one more week.
Because I feel like he was brought to Washington for a reason, and last year being injured the entire year, we never got to really see that. But he was game scripted in early and often.
So I saw Samuel just talked about a bunch on Twitter, so I kind of thought he was kind of a given. The way I look at Samuel is the way I would look at Tyler Boyd, right? Like he's the guy that's no. Mohamed Sanu. I would look at him the way I look at Mohamed Sanu when he was part of a 3-headed monster, right? Gadget type player, athletic, could play the slot when Marvin Jones and AJ Green were there. But he, like the 800-yard guy, right? Like he could be a jet sweep guy. He could be all these little things. And I think that's what Samuel is, right? With Carson Wentz, the guys that spread the ball. He might get these check downs. And that's what he did. I don't see him going down the field. He's not 6 foot anything compared to Dotson or Logan Thomas. And he's Terry McLaurin 6 feet flat. Exactly.
He's going to be using the jet sweep a lot and things of that nature.
Drag sweeps, flats. I mean, if you're playing full PPR, Samuel's your guy. In any wide receiver, 3-receiver league or bigger, in a 2-receiver league or better, like he's maybe a flex play, but he's like a non-upside flex play.
What my advice for My advice for Curtis Samuel, yes, do wait. Like it's a combination of what Mike said and then what I said. Grab him, stash him, and then if he pops off next week, you already have him. Let's go ahead. Let's get.
I was gonna say they threw the ball so many times last week, and that ball was perfectly spread. Even Gibson had like 7 receptions, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sold. There's much there's a ceiling. I think there's a very low ceiling for Samuel.
Yeah,
But
I like
it's
that.
nice, deep leagues, 12 mans, 3 receivers. Yeah, he's gonna be fine.
No, I'm with that. I'm in agreement. Let's go ahead. Let's get into best bets for the weekend. We'll go around the horn. You guys drop what you're into, what you're feeling. What do you think? What do you think? This is not to go in with the like any premiums or anything like that. Just what do you think is the best bet this weekend?
Mine would be Miami to win. Take the money line.
I like that. I was actually going to be one that I mentioned. I
had them at plus 3.5 when they came in. I took them at the money line at 155. I think people just really don't fucking like Miami, and everyone keeps telling me a homer. But if you look at it, I never take Miami and get them wrong.
You never take Miami.
I don't think I've ever gotten wrong on Miami since I've been on the show.
Yeah, you don't ever take Miami.
Yeah, I never fucking take them unless I think they can do it, right? And I only take them on odds that make sense, right? I'll take them for 49ers versus Miami. I took them for Miami versus like the Jaguars, right? Like a few years back when they were 2-1. I don't normally pick them, but here's the thing. And people go, well, they're playing the Ravens. They beat the fucking Ravens last year. Like, what are you fucking doing? Like, come on. Ravens are not that good this year. I get it. We love Lamar Jackson.
That was a rough Thursday. Didn't they smoke the Ravens? Like they had roasted bird.
Yeah, they beat them last year, and all they did was play man blitz. They played man blitz like 40 times against like Lamar last year, and they barely won, but they fucking won, and that was the point.
Can we save that topic for next summer?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I would say.
Jamie wrote, we're definitely gonna have to save that topic. Yeah, that's an off-season topic for sure.
Yeah, that's my pick of the week.
Okay. He said off topic, but real men don't use baby name books. We used our fantasy football rankings list to pick out our kids' names. That's how I landed on Ashton and Chase for my son. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Who was Ashton? Which Ashton was this?
Freaking not Dolan.
No, it's definitely not Dolan. I would say you must hate that kid.
Jamie just he typed this out like 2 weeks ago in the chat. Now I can't remember.
That is kind of cool though.
Your best bet it is Ashton Dolan. That's what I thought. Yeah, like
wow, interesting. It's a good name. I just wouldn't name after a player that hasn't done much though. But it's actually a nice name. I actually think Ashton's really cool.
It is a nice name. I love the name Ashton. Fucking paying.
No, I do think it's a good name. I just thought the player was just an interesting choice of all people. I thought there was maybe a different Ashton that might have been done well, like really well, that I just didn't know about. Which would make sense. There's plenty of players I just don't know about. We see him named Kiki Kuti, I suppose.
The Podfather touted him as the best small wide receiver coming out 3 years ago. Yeah, I remember that. Actually. Pat.
He's also hated Cooper Kupp. I'm just saying, though. He did. I give those guys so much crap for that. They literally made like a whole thing about shitting on Cooper Kupp. And I remember it just basically was in it. You could tell they just wanted to say it's because he's white. And I just remember like this is not a good take, guys. Like, and they started clowning Steve Smith too. It was like not the way to go.
Pat, your best bet of the week, bro.
Now, do we just say the Saints beating the Bucs at home, or do we take the New York Giants, who for the first time in like 2 years are home a favorite? Because the reality of the New York Giants being a home favorite in a game that I still think that they should win. Like, Snacks isn't on the show, but I'm loading up the Giants.
Loading up the Giants money line. Okay, so we got 2 money line bets. Who are the Giants playing again?
Carolina.
Carolina.
That Saints thing was a premium pick, buddy.
Ah,
I was going to use that as my premium pick tomorrow.
Get better picks.
well, you still have to fill it out. You don't. You should never even said anything. You should just fill it out and
Yeah,
freaking
you
drop it
could've
in the
just said-
Discord.
That's good.
Still put it as a premium pick.
Yep.
I'll have to have one of you two. Well, I mean, I can just put it in there. But...
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that take. First time we've given New York props and God knows when on this show. Mike.
Saquon's back. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a Saquon thing. The battle of Saquon versus CMC, because both those quarterbacks ain't really all that. I think that Baker's better than Daniel Jones, but so
yeah.
Go ahead, Mike. What you got?
So today, I happened to find out right 10 minutes before it was over that Monkey Knife Fight had a little bit of a boost, and I put in Derek Carr over 285 and Kyler Murray over 250.
I like that. Both overs over on Monkey Knife Fight. So we get you guys with a little bit of a player prop action here as well. I think that the over on those two, I think that could very well be the prop of the week. So I like that. I like that. That could be the prop of the week for damn sure. I could see that prop netting a lot of people some big bang.
Because they only had a boost on like half the games, and that happened to be one of them.
That's spicy with the over set at 51.5 right now for that game.
Yeah.
Two terrible defenses, or two defenses that underperformed week one.
Yeah,
we don't know for sure what the Raiders are, but I think we know what the Cardinals defense is.
Cardinals defense is trash.
Yep.
Cool. I like that. So we got you guys with a little bit of player prop. I'm gonna go Monday Night Football.
Which one?
The Vikings Eagles. Okay. And I'm just gonna flat out yes, Vikings money line. I just feel like the Vikings are just that much better. They are built for real this year. With just some of the things they done. I know the Eagles did a lot of moves in the offseason, and they have vastly improved that personnel. But I don't think that there's enough in the total package for Philadelphia to be able to overwhelm Minnesota. But I do think that it is going to be close. Give me the 2.5 on Minnesota.
All right, Jamie, what is the over? What is the line for Gibson? Jamie's saying to take the over on Gibson's rushing yards. And he says, I'm taking the under on rushing yards for Najee, trusting he gets a full workload. Not trusting he gets a full workload and can't see him busting out a long run.
Fair. I did whatever the over is on Gibson's rushing, I'm taking it. Whatever it is, I'm taking it.
So random one to come up, guys. I just noticed it was that the Niners in Seattle was a rain game again.
Yep. And
I wonder if the under 40.5 is a smash. And I wonder taking Seattle at a 3-1 is a fun parlay. Would you do it? Would you do the 3-1 on Seattle and a under bet? It ends up being plus 700, by the way.
Who does Seattle play?
49ers.
Niners. It's going to be a rain game in Frisco.
Yeah, let's lock that. Yeah.
Is that just a fun parlay? Plus 700 on a 2 parlay? Like Seattle to win in a rain game with an under.
Trey Lance's first two.
First two games are rain games.
That's just...
I love it.
I was looking at it. I remember fuck, this thing is plus 340, And then I was like, fuck, it's raining now. Maybe Seattle has a shot because Seattle is. I mean, it isn't. I think they're in a dome, right? But still, they're probably used to the fucking rain, a little bit.
No, Seattle's not a dome.
Oh, you're right. I've been there once.
The fans are covered, but the field's not.
Yeah. So yeah, they might have that weird advantage that they could win. And it could be an under. That's a plus 701 right now if you took it.
Jamie, I am telling you on that boxing card. I am telling you on the Canelo Triple G ending in decision. I like it. I like that a lot. I got Canelo winning.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. Final take of the night. Final topic of the night.
Uh-oh.
Last week we did what is each of our own teams. I'm gonna let you pick whatever game that you want and give us the keys for each team to win in that game. Let's go ahead and let's go into it. Let's break it down. We'll start with we'll start with Pink. We'll start at the bottom.
What was the topic again, man?
Just break down any game that you want, or you can break down your own. I don't think we talked too much about the Dolphins. So if you want to talk about the Dolphins, what is it going to take for your team to win?
Actually, I will. Sure, I will pick down the Dolphins. The Dolphins, baby. No, I just don't think Lamar is settled yet, right? He's working with his second-year receiver that started off slow last year, right? People forget that Rashad Bateman did not come in immediately. It took him a minute. They're going to have their hands full. They still have Byron Jones. They still have Xavier Howard. They have Javon Holland, who played lights out last week. Those three guys were just putting up. Brandon Jones is there. I think Eric Rowe's still there. Like, the linebackers got better. The pass rush is going to be all up in their face. I think Lamar's going to have a hard time. I think Lamar's going to have another slow start. Andrews is going to do work, but I don't think it's enough for the Ravens to win. Dobbins might start this week, and it just tells you, like, what do you do, right? Like, is it Kenyon Drake revenge game narrative again? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? So, the Dolphins are going to be a lot stronger. I do know that the secondary for the Ravens are still a little bit weak. I'm not worried about it at all by any means. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think if you have anybody that isn't Tyreek Hill and Lamar Jackson, fantasy-wise, I don't want anybody here. I would probably consider Bateman or Duvernay, but only one of the two, not both in any situation. This is not a game you stack if you're doing DFS. It's not a game that, like, both guys go off. I think Dolphins are always good for one thing only, giving up a big play. So I think Duvernay or Rashad Bateman get that Dolphins give a big play, blown coverage, some bullshit on a post route or whatever. Some guy gets burnt because they're trying to fucking Xavier Howard might be the guy that does this. He's trying to bait the ball, right? That kind of bullshit. But I think the Dolphins take this. I think the Dolphins take this probably by 6 or more points. I want to say 6 or more points. I don't think this game is plus 2.5, plus 3 is. I think it's actually plus 4 now. And I think that's just ridiculous. I think people just have no faith in the Dolphins, and I don't see why not. Our team overall on paper is just straight up better than theirs.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins the Dolphins this weekend up against that Ravens team. So I like that. I like that take. I feel like the Ravens, the way that they're getting their wins is wheeling and dealing through Lamar. So I like that take. If they can slow down Lamar and keep the ball out of his hands, I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah, I just don't know how the team was worse last year, and they had a pretty decisive win. I don't know how they don't do it this year. The Ravens usually do really well against them, but that was when Flacco was under center.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar had that one his second year when he came in. He had the MVP season. He clobbered the Dolphins, but that was just a very bad team. I don't know. I feel like Mike McDaniels. Brian Flores built a good foundation with a good set of locker room guys for this team, and Mike McDaniels gets to inherit it, right? So I am giving credit to Brian Flores for this. Mike McDaniel inherits a great team, offensively and defensively. I don't think that the Ravens. I can't look at them and go they're both good on both sides of the ball. I think they're actually under average due to injuries right now. Lamar is amazing though, so I'll give him that.
Hey, I respect the hell out of that take, Pat.
We're gonna look at Colts and Jaguars.
All right, let's break it down.
So Colts heading to Jacksonville, heading into the heat. It's gonna be a scorcher there. So what does that mean? I think Jaguars need to sustain drives, and where that's really gonna matter is Trevor Lawrence and his completion percentage. He's been a sub 60% completion percentage guy his entire career so far. If he can pull that up towards 65, 70%, sustain those drives, keep the Colts defense on the field force the Colts to not be able to just run the ball with JT, make their offense do things through the air. Matt Ryan's capable, but I don't think that is their game plan. That's not their strengths. That's forcing their hand into something they don't want to do. So I think the Jaguars could potentially cover if they can manage to control time of possession, make sure that Trevor Lawrence is throwing good passes, good balls, and spreading the ball around. He's got probably 5 guys there that he can reliably throw the ball to. We saw Zay Jones start to emerge there again. Is he something? Is he not? We will see. I feel like he's going to start getting like the Sammy Watkins treatment where he gets like 1 or 2 really good weeks to start the year. And it's still early in the year for him. So I think that's going to be your big thing there for the Jaguars.
Okay, I like it. And finally, we go to drop the mic. Not finally, because I have to fucking get my pick. Is he on mute again?
Probably.
Cincinnati Bengals versus the Dallas Cowgirls. So, to me, this sets up a perfect matchup in the sense of, I think, and you know, Robbie, I didn't care for him last year, but I think this falls into a Joe Mixon game. I think the running defense of the Cowboys is not that great. I think Joe Mixon's going to have a decent game. I think he's going to get a few catches out of the backfield. If Higgins plays, I don't think he's going to play. Look out for Boyd, but I think they're going to give Boyd some of that targets that Higgins had, but I also think that they're going to use Joe Mixon in some of that role as a pass-catching running back as well. And the run defense for the Bengals, I know Najee got hurt, but before he got hurt, he had 10 rushes, not even 30 yards. Bengals defense wasn't the issue last week. The Bengals defense kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow was the mistake last week. And the reason I say Joe Burrow was the mistake last week, I don't expect that to happen twice. So for the Dallas Cowboys to win, they're going to have to shut down Joe Burrow and shut down Joe Mixon, and that's not going to happen.
Yep. Okay, I like it. Jamie, I like the over on that. I mean, if it's just 6 carries and he can, go 10 and then get another 5 and then get another I can see it's doable even within 6 carries for Breece Hall. And yeah, it's my story. I'm in her room. Alrighty. Game that I'm actually going to break down. I feel like I haven't mentioned this team a whole hell of a lot. One of these teams I haven't mentioned a whole hell of a lot on air. And that's just because it seems like their offseason was fairly quiet. And we're gonna talk Patriots Steelers. Patriots got absolutely annihilated by the Miami Dolphins, and which this should be expected. Going back to what Pang was saying about the matchup the Dolphins will take on this week, that team is vastly improved. So any data and any preconceived notions that you had about Miami aren't going to be the same. And I'm going to use that same thing when breaking down this New England game. Any preconceived notions that you have about Mac Jones and the New England Patriots based off of what you saw last year, we really need to take those. We need to put them in a freaking bottle. We're going to take that bottle, okay? We're going to take this box, all right? And we're going to toss the motherfucker into the ocean. All right? And it ain't coming back. All right? It's gone. It's not floating back to us. It's gone. All right? I get that Pittsburgh had to kind of battle it out, and you could tell a lot that last week they were learning a lot about themselves with as much new is going on, and so on and so forth. I don't think that New England is the New England that we're used to. Okay, I don't want to use the words that New England's not good, because you still have the evil emperor, Bill Belichick. Okay, the jury's still out on Mac Jones. Yes, he did decent last year, but that playbook was designed to cover up his flaws. And I don't think that they're ready to elevate that and advance that this year. And I feel like that they know that. They know that about Mac and Cheese Jones. The Steelers, well, going back to the Patriots, what the Patriots are really going to have to do, they're going to have to control clock. You're going to have to control clock. You're going to have to. You can't let Trubisky have the ball in his hands. I'm expecting New England to try and run as much as they can. I don't think that it's going to be efficient enough with Harris and Stevenson and so on and so forth. That passing game is just not. It's not there. It's not there. You're playing with freaking Walmart clearance rack receivers. Still, you're not even utilizing your jumbo sets in a manner of which you should up there in New England. It's because the personnel is not the same. It's not Tom Brady. It's not Gronk. It's not all these guys that you've had over the last decade. With that being said and being stated, I think that this could be close. I think that it could be a win by a field goal for Pittsburgh. I expect Pittsburgh to go to the air. I expect Pittsburgh to just take the top off the whole game. I don't think that Pittsburgh, with the absence of Najee, I don't think they're really caring as much about the running game. They're about to be like, "Hey, yo, you got 2 seconds from snap to get that ball up in the air. Do it." Big Ben could do it. You can do it. And Big Ben was doing it old as dirt. Big Ben was older than Moses himself out there freaking chucking a pigskin. They're going to look at Trubisky and they're going to be like, huh?
Is there a reason you're pointing at me when you say old as dirt?
No, I'm just my hands. I'm in a different room.
I know. I'm just giving you shit because I'm the oldest.
So with that being said and with that being stated,
What up, Justin?
I think the Steelers at home is solid. Just had a big sweat before, 125 money line. 3/4 for FSU, and it was 100% profit boost, so it was plus 250 and a hit. Hell yes, congrats. So yeah, that's my breakdown on Steelers Patriots. Steelers go to the air, score fast, strike hard, and you will completely demoralize the New England Patriots. I think that the Patriots might be demoralized.
That's an interesting one. I think I could see that taking a win.
I asked a question on Sunday. Has it struck midnight for Mac Jones?
I think it just about has.
Is he figured out in terms of just being that accurate passer, sit back in the pocket? If he's not having another layer to his game, what is there to?
I agree. Well, gentlemen, we have about 2 minutes left here in the show. We're going to go ahead and get into our outro. We'll start at the bottom, work our way to the top. And then, Mike, you're going to be doing all the things and closing us out with the producing. Pang, outro.
What up? You can catch me as Panks Picks FF on Twitter. You can find me on, this show, hopefully weekly. I'm a little bit busy, I'm sorry. I still write for FantasySixPack.net, and I write for Stochastic, also known as Awesemo. So if you want to see my work, catch me there. Stochastic will be on a hiatus for a while because that's only best ball and best ball only. But I am doing trade articles for Fantasy Six Pack, so catch those.
Oh yeah, Pat.
I'm St. Patrick FF, the patron saint of fantasy football. You can find me on Twitter and go ahead and click my link for the BetUS. Get signed up with them. Very personable service. They will contact you multiple times to make sure that you understand what you're buying into and what it's going to look like on your credit card, making sure that you don't have any questions, making sure if there's anything you want from the sports book that they don't have, that they can get that for you. So come sign up with them, help me get some money, and hopefully you can make some money too.
Hell yeah. Yo, really quick, shout out to Jamie in the chat. He said, hanging with the Rumboyz is the highlight of my Friday night.
Yeah.
And this is why
I was
we do
smiling
this show.
when I read that.
This is why we do this show. It's for you guys. We do this for y'all. You deal with the wife, the kids all week, dealing with work. We're here to give you some entertainment. I'm about to have some entertainment later. Mike, go ahead.
All right, you can find me at Drop the Mic FF. You can find me here almost all the freaking time Fridays, Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, whatever days I'm here. And you can also find me on Tuesdays on the Going for Two Live Network, 6:30 p.m. West Coast, the Fantasy Cheat Sheet. I am the host of that. Other than that, your way, sir.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Rumboyz Robbie. Listen, Sunday, big day. Rumboyz NFL AM. I'll be back. Let's see, NFL Rum Zone. That's gonna be exciting because after watching this man right here have to sweat on a Thursday night, you guys get to watch me sweat on a Sunday. So it's gonna be freaking awesome. You guys won't want to miss it. Other than that, you guys can catch me right here, CEO, owner, Presidente of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to get Rumboyz Premium. Get Rumboyz Premium $6.99. Click that join button right here on our YouTube channel, and we will hook you guys up with all of our weekly picks, premiums, and so much more. Other than that, cheers to me. Cheers to you. And all the Rumboyz and girls, what it do. Dilly dilly. We appreciate you. Mike.